So welcome back to my YouTube channel, Vipassana Girl. I just wanted to thank everyone for their views on my first video, any likes, as well as messages that I received from people in my life privately. The support and encouragement was fully received, and this smile was the exact same smile that I got for each message, each view that I received from you people. Also, a big thanks to Cass. She was my first subscriber to my channel, and that was an interesting experience when I got that notification. So thank you for wanting to be a part of this journey and listening to my experiences. And just so everyone knows, as I'm receiving all this good good loving feelings, I'm also sending them back to you and even everyone else who may not even be a part of this at this moment. So today I'm going to be sharing my video about my experience on serving a 10-day Vipassana course. So this video you'll find is more for old students who have already sat a 10-day course. When I say old students, it doesn't mean that you're 110 years old. It just means that you have sat a 10-day Vipassana course. If it has been a long time since you last sat your course, the center may ask that you sit another one before serving. And here are some of the main differences between serving and sitting. One of the big ones is you won't be in noble silence, you'll be in noble speech. And I strongly recommend that you take some time to research what noble speech is, because when you get there, there's not a lot of information. Again, the whole process is about experiential learning, and so the best way to learn is by trying and try again. For me, I'm the type of person who does like to be prepared as possible and can have some questions. And that was one of them, noble speech, how I can be successful at it so I can get the most out of my serving experience. Advice that one of the assistant teachers gave was, when in doubt, speak less. So yeah, if you can, try not to chatter too much. Another one of the difference is you won't be sitting as much as you do in a 10-day course when you're a student. And that looks like you'll be sitting for 3 to 5 hours on average of meditation instead of the, 10 or 12 hours. And you're also going to make sure that you don't want to get too serious about your practice, because you want to remain equanimous, keep the energies pretty neutral to have a good environment for the students who are there for their success. We want the students to be successful, we want them to be comfortable. It's really all about them. The assistant teachers will tell you, don't be too determined in your posture. Feel free to shift or move around, because you don't want things coming up that you can't handle, so then you can't serve because you are working through something that's there. And trust me, even though you're serving, things do come up, and I might touch on that in this video as well. What else? You get to read, which is awesome. I love reading, I love learning. There's a library there. When I say library, it's small. Maybe there's like 20-30 books there, all to do with Vipassana, Goenkaji, the practice. And I recommend you trying to take some time to read when you're on your rest time, because it just gets you to help dive deeper into the practice and learn more, and can potentially answer some questions that are arising for you while you're serving. They tell you not to bring any books from home, so please try to respect that and not bring any of your at-home reading material. Still, there's no writing, no cell phone, so you'll be disconnected from the outside world. So the benefit of serving that I found was I really got to see my behavioral patterns in like a 360 view. And what showed up for me was perfectionism and self-worth, and it was intense. So you may be able to get to experience these yourself. I don't know what your behavior patterns are, how they play out, but I can share mine to give you some insight on how you can learn more about yourself and how you may be interacting with the outside world without even knowing. So the one situation I had was I was in charge of making the chocolate cake for over 100 people. And I made this cake and I put the icing on it, and then you have to cut them pretty small pieces, right? So you got these big pans and then small pieces. So I start cutting them and it's falling apart. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I can't set these out. Like, they look horrible. Nobody's gonna want to eat these. And you're a noble speech, so you know this is all going on inside of you, and you're hyper aware of this happening inside you, and you're trying not to project it externally. And you have these lovely people working with you, and they're noticing, and you're like reaching out for help, being like, what do I do? These pieces are too small. I need to make them bigger. So the struggle between making sure I do everything to the letter, and then also being like, but if I do it to the letter, I'm not gonna get one piece intact, and nobody's gonna want to eat this, and their experience is gonna be bad. So the story I was telling myself was intense, and I was feeling like, oh, I'm not good enough. And I had like 2 awesome people who were serving who came over being like, it's okay, we'll just take out those ones that are really crumbling, and us servers will eat those ones, and it will be fine. They'll eat them, they'll love them, and it doesn't matter. They don't have to look perfect. And then, you know, you have somebody else coming over being like, whoa, what happened to these? And it was interesting for me. It was like, I could see myself wanting to grab onto the comments that were of like, oh, whoa, like, look at this, what happened to this, to support this negativity that was going on inside me. And I was like, whoa, do I do this in everyday life? Like, I have a choice to believe this negativity inside, or I can rise above it and be like, everything is gonna be okay, and things don't have to be perfect, and I'm still worthy, even if this cake doesn't look the way I imagine the cake to look. So it was a great gift getting to experience that. And then it gets even deeper, because I couldn't eat the cake because I'm like, it doesn't look good enough to eat. So I myself would not allow myself to eat it because I was so scared it would also taste as I was perceiving it to look. So yeah, I didn't eat the cake. And another layer that went deeper was like, wow, where does this all play out? This whole perfectionism behavior pattern and self-worth pattern. And I was able to see that I will put people on this pedestal and see them as perfect. And if something doesn't go, you know, on the positive end of the scale, I will blame myself and be like, I'm not worthy. This is the problem. Where it could be this person that I put up here is just, they're human and they also have behavior patterns and they're just being unkind in the moment. Nothing bad, it's just they're also human. And then I was also like, wow, so maybe sometimes I'm not as wrong as I think I am, or as unworthy as I think I am. And then the flip side of being like, you know, not being able to bring anything and materialize things into this world because I don't feel they're good enough yet, and that expectation. And then also when I put the pressure onto someone else of having to be perfect and only focusing on what they're not doing what I see as right. So it was a huge eye opener for me. And I was able to then be like, wow, this is a real issue in my life, and how, what are my next steps? Another layer to it was the fact that the people who were commenting innocently about, oh my gosh, what happened to this cake? Like, they didn't mean any harm to me with their comments. They were innocent. There was no harm in that. So I got to see, wow, it's not all about me on a different level. And they're just innocently making an observation, which then also gave me an insight that, how do I talk to people? How do I react to things? How can I be kinder? How can I be more aware of how my voice could unintentionally hurt someone? So as you can see, really, really a big lesson in serving for me, which is a huge gift, a huge gift. Also, to let you know, I decided on the very last day to try a piece of that cake some was left over, and it tasted amazing. And I felt like I faced a fear and, got through a bit of the boundary with my whole perfectionism and self-worth that I've clearly been dealing with for maybe my whole life. So this is the kind of gift that you could potentially get if, you have these behavioral patterns that are playing out in relationships that you may not be aware of, or you're not aware of how how deep they play out and how often they play out and what your part is. Sometimes we're easy to blame other people for things or always blame ourselves. And a lot of the times it's just the story we end up telling ourselves. So I hope you get some gift like that, where you get to see yourself and your patterns on this deeper level and get that, bird's eye view on how you interact with other people. What else? Okay, so to keep the video not too long, as we all have a certain attention span, at the end of the course, I got another gift, which was seeing the students. They looked years younger, okay? Years younger. They were like little suns walking around, radiating love. I could feel this. I could see this. And it brought me so much joy to see other people feeling such peace, feeling such love for themselves and for others. And there was this lightness. And I swear they were glowing. And that was a great gift to know that, like, I got to see this. I got to witness humans not suffering at this state of, I would like to call, bliss. So these, these are the reasons why you should try serving if you have sat a 10-day Vipassana course before, and also potential learnings that you can have and what it would look like for you potentially serving a 10-day Vipassana course. Again, everybody's experience is different. So, I don't want you to get attached to my experience that I had. I just want you to know of one possibility for yourself. And, seeing these people doing all this hard work for themselves, liberating themselves, I mean it, glowing, glowing. My cup was full, and I got to experience compassion on a whole new level. And I'm going back. I want to go back. I want to help. I want other people to be happy. I want them to feel that feeling, even if for a moment. And yeah, I really hope you also decide to serve and give back to the center. And my experience is only with the one in Ontario, so I'm not sure how the rest of them work, and maybe one day I will also get to sit or serve at one of the other many centers across the world. So thank you for being a part of this video and my journey, and may you be happy, may you be peaceful, you'd be liberated.